Alright, what's going on, party people? Kevin Cage back with another crypto update. I hope everybody's doing well out there and happy Friday. We have a lot to go over in today's video. So obviously, we're going to discuss the market crash. We have Bitcoin currently under 60,000 today. I do want to go over the Ethereum layoffs as well. We have a lot of crypto companies obviously struggling right now, and a lot of companies out there are making cuts to stay lean. I'm also going to make sure that we dive into the Clarity Act because we have some new developments and a timeline that we could see. I'll probably be all over the place per usual when I record these, but I do want to go over AI agents, especially with Coinbase, and different pros and cons and even future risks or concerns. And beyond that, I mean, we could rant about Anthropic, a massive company, and if they do go public, I mean, we could be talking, I think, like a $1 trillion valuation, which is absolutely unheard of. And then beyond that, we have a bunch of things going on with the XRP ledger, with native lending, the Ripple US dollar, etc. So let's get right into it. So first up, we had CoinDesk share this, that the XRP ledger has finally overtaken Ethereum as the largest host, or holder, I guess, the XRP ledger versus the Ethereum blockchain, and holding the highest amount of the Ripple US dollar supply. So we can see 801 million circulating supply of the Ripple US dollar on the XRP ledger versus Ethereum. So we can look at these numbers right on DeFi Llama down below, so we can just scroll over, see the circulating supply of the Ripple US dollar on both of these networks, still yet to break over $2 billion in market cap. And remember that the Ripple US dollar launched back in, I think, December of 24. So essentially it's been around 18 months. And you can also look on rwa.xyz, you can just type in the Ripple US dollar in the search tab, and then you can just track the numbers right there. And looking at this, we can see that the XRP ledger's Ripple US dollar supply is up about 15% over the past 30 days, and then on Ethereum we can see that we are down about 26%. So I know we've spoken about this for a long time, and only because the company Ripple has said a lot of things verbatim about why they're launching on Ethereum first, that is the mother of DeFi where all the activity is, essentially to bootstrap and then bring that supply over to the XRPL. And remember, bringing the Ripple US dollar to the XRP ledger is exactly what benefits the XRP ledger, and it also uses XRP, a very small amount in every transaction. So I think we're finally starting to see more of this over the past 18 months. I mean, keep in mind how long USDC, Tether, other stablecoin ecosystems have been around. So literally, the entire lifetime of the Ripple US dollar, it's lived on another chain where XRP, the native asset, couldn't really benefit. So now it's coming to the XRP ledger, which is really good. Alright, next up, I saw Reese Merrick sharing we have native loans and yield on the XRP ledger, and we have this company, Soil Farm. I swear this isn't a paid promo. I saw they followed me and I followed them right back yesterday. But let's dive into this. We can see that Soil Farm. Soil is gearing up to be the first application using the XRP Ledger Lending Protocol and SAV. XLS 65 and 66 unlock a new generation of lending and yield products natively on the XRP Ledger. We'd love to see them activated as soon as possible. And yes, I'm losing my voice. Sometimes I'll trim it out or not, guys. I have lung scarring from a pulmonary embolism last year. This is not AI, I just whip my videos out really quick. So looking at this, we can see that SAV stands for the Single Asset Vault in their video. So we know that XLS 66 and 65 have been around for a little while now, and we have XLS 66, this is the actual lending protocol on the XRPL. So this is pretty much real institutional lending, and the entire loan lifecycle is living on the XRP ledger. And then we have the SAV, or the Single Asset Vaults, for XLS 65. And we're going to continue to see a lot of these types of vaults as RWAs grow and lending and all these new apps come to be, but basically just imagine a bunch of people are going to pool or put together one asset into a shared vault. And so when they put their assets into a vault, they're going to get these vault tokens that represent their share, and that pool, or what's in that vault, is going to be supplying all the lending markets. So when you put all this together, you have native on-ledger credit right on the XRPL. So there's no bridging, there's no leaving, and this is absolutely needed for the XRPL. So this is all about using a variety of assets, USDC, XRP, the Ripple US dollar, in institutional lending. So working with or being used by family offices or fund managers, and they could pool the Ripple US dollar and they could deploy it into money market funds or private credit. and essentially just try to earn like yield or, APR of 6% or 8%. And this is absolutely needed. Just a little perspective, if you don't think this is a big deal, even RippleX called the lending protocol on the XRP ledger the most rigorously tested amendments in the network's history. So when you're just going over all of the audits, a public attackathon, formal verification, AI-assisted reviews, community testing, and validator review, they're taking the XRP lending protocol extremely seriously. Why? Because they plan to use it. And I know I've done different tweets about, in the future, wanting to earn yield off of my XRP, and I absolutely believe that's going to happen. Alright, next up, looking at the crypto fear and greed index, we're in extreme fear. Surprise, surprise. So looking at the historical data, just clicking max to see the fear and greed index over time, we can see that we are in extreme fear. We are also in extreme fear back in 2022, back in 2020, back in 2019, and the question is, when will this turn around? Also taking a quick look at the Bitcoin US dollar index, so this is the monthly time frame for Bitcoin, dating back all the way to inception in 2009. We can see that we are basically breaking our last level of support right there, and we're going to find out where this monthly candle body closes. Now zooming out a little bit, look at the momentum, the monthly RSI for Bitcoin and the past cycles. Yes, for anybody that says the cycles are broken, or at least what we've seen during the last 3 cycles, you're absolutely right. We have the momentum coming down and pretty much reaching some of the lowest levels that we've ever reached, as we can see right there, back in December of 2022, November, back when Bitcoin was around 15,500. So we're going to see, is this level going to be support? Is this going to last a little while? And if we are looking at these cycles, not financial advice, the question is, how long is the momentum of Bitcoin's monthly RSI going to be down here? When or if are we going to see another cup and a nice big rise to the upside? And the best thing I ever did in my entire crypto history is I invested as much as possible during the 2020 crash. Yes, it worked out luckily, and yes, I'm going to be trying to do that again, not financial advice. Alright, now let's dive into the Clarity Act. Now, I know when we discuss regulation and laws, it can be really boring, I get that, but this is without a doubt the most important catalyst that we have for the entire crypto space. So we have Congress has scheduled a July 17th hearing in New York on the Clarity Act as momentum builds for the crypto market structure bill. So what the heck, it looks like, Trump and all the talks about getting this officially signed into law on July 4th, America's 250th birthday, was all BS, and we are looking at a delay. Now, do I believe this or something like this gets passed? Yes, absolutely, but the question is when, and could we see this, get passed later this year? Is it going to be delayed and we get a nice surprise in August? Is it going to be end of year? I really hope it doesn't get pushed into 2027. And there's even talks that there are different warnings that if they miss this window to do all of this before recess, that this bill could slip to 2030, and I really hope that's just fear speaking, because there's no way that would be the case. At least not what I think, not financial advice, believe whatever you want. But best case is really we get the hearings in July, and then there's like a big push for a Senate floor vote in maybe early August. But we really can't miss what they're trying to do with the recess in August, otherwise we are potentially discussing a really big delay, and we do not want that. So what do I think? Obviously, I'm just hoping that the Clarity Act gets signed into law by the end of this year and we get a very nice surprise. And I have iTrustCapital linked in the top of this YouTube video description, and it's also the very first link right in my link tree. Now, like a lot of you, I've been in this space for a long time. I got into crypto back in 2017, so I've experienced multiple cycles. I lived and breathed it for years, and if there's one lesson that I've learned, it's that during green markets and bull runs and prices are going up, at least for the last 2 alt seasons we saw in 2017 and 2021, when Bitcoin dominance actually crashed, and yes, we haven't seen that for over 5 years. You feel like an absolute genius, you feel like nothing can go wrong, but the thing is, about red markets like today, that is actually where you build the position. I remember like it's yesterday, all of the comments and all of the hate you would see on YouTube, Twitter during 2020. XRP went down to like 11 cents. Everybody was pissed, everybody was fearful, and we are seeing that same type of mentality today. And the people that have made money are the ones that stay disciplined, they stay quiet, and they're just stacking while everybody else is panicking. And that's exactly why I've had a Roth IRA with iTrust since 2020. And now, today, we have 100 different crypto assets, you have precious metals, and even stocks and ETFs on the way. So what's really cool about this, even if you didn't want a retirement account, obviously I love a Roth IRA for tax-free growth, you can even just do a normal taxable account, which is called a PCA or a premium custody account. But the thing that sets them apart is you can have a variety of accounts in a single dashboard, so a single login, and we are going to be able to swap between cryptos, the US dollar, fiat directly, stablecoins, precious metals, and then even stocks and ETFs. So to me, that is an absolute no-brainer. With the flexibility that you have, you can choose between any of these. You can just click the link in the video description to get started. And you get a $100 funding bonus, and a huge bonus of this is that all of your assets are secured and they're actually leveraging a qualified custodian. So that is not the case for the majority of other exchanges and platforms out there. I have some other developments for the XRP ledger and the Ripple US dollar that we can cover in the next video. Let's finish up with this, discussing Agentic AI. We have Coinbase for Agents. Your AI agent can connect directly to your Coinbase account so it can trade, pay for things, and execute workflows on your behalf, all within limits that you control. Now, this is a huge topic. I mean, we've talked about what Stripe is doing and the Tempo blockchain, and I know this sounds like sci-fi, but the infrastructure is being built. And I think that, machine commerce and agentic AI, or I guess we should just call it agentic finance, is absolutely the future, and how do we prepare ourselves? There's going to be AI agents, obviously following rules, but I mean, they're going to be rebalancing portfolios like Coinbase even shares right there. There's going to be better capital efficiency, so that idle funds are always working for you, hopefully with even the 1XLS amendment swappable curves on the XRP ledger to truly make swaps for stablecoins a one-to-one peg, so that it's virtually really cheap, and then these AI agent business models can actually leverage the XRPL. There's going to be all types of data analysis and data-informed trading, and just a bunch of new use cases that we've never thought of. And they even say you're in control, and it just makes you wonder, is there still going to be ways to manipulate AI agents? And you wonder, is there going to be a black swan in the future related to agentic finance? So just thinking about this, and I know I tweeted this out the other day, if we have a lot of retail users and we're all running AI agents, and maybe even just using them to trade, and we set up signals that the AI recommends, and if we use similar prompts to build our AI agents, and all these common, at least, AI agents are using the same data, what if they all give us the same type of trading strategy? So if a bunch of retail investors using AI agents have a similar or even the same AI strategy, a lot of trades are going to be really correlated, and all of these bots are going to be reading the same signals for exits and entries. So if that happened, I mean, a lot of the market or a portion of the market could synchronize. And from that, I mean, there are risks within itself with algorithmic flash pumps and flash crashes that we've never seen. And I know we've already seen a lot of these flash pumps and flash crashes, but I would argue that it could just become even crazier. Because we have then a bunch of AI agents that are trading off of price moves that other agents cause. So obviously, they're probably going to use some type of VPS, and whoever has the fastest connection does better. But there's a lot of manipulation that could be at play. We already know that a lot of people kind of take advantage of social media posts or just posting fake headlines in order to trick a lot of AI agents. And I know I said this the other day, but crypto is the Wild West. I mean, it's thin liquidity, it's fast money, there are privacy coins, there's ways to launder money, or even with Bitcoin, use CoinJoin, Monero, whatever you want. So this is a giant testing ground, a giant lab experiment, and a lot could happen. Now, I'm not here just to talk about fear. I mean, the upside is just as real. I mean, the future of DCAing and getting rid of emotional trading and portfolio management, buying and selling things, automated completely, that's a big deal. And I think that's going to lead to billions, if not trillions of dollars in more financial flow. The biggest question I want to leave you with is what happens at scale as AI, quantum computing, and crypto all come together and mature, and I know I've seen Ledger even discussing this. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you could hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.